a suitcase with me with something
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
because I need food, I need my studies, computer, I need clothes, toiletries, all that. But it's
I
good. I
know.
like it.
Yeah, that's good. I really will consider that for the
Think
future.
about it.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I still have some years ahead until I retire, and
But you have to
maybe
start.
then. Yeah,
You have to
exactly.
start
Maybe then
now.
when I get to the last 2 years of work, maybe I can start doing something else. I will consider.
Yeah.
There's a friend of mine who says that that's a dream of her life to either work at a pet shop or to pet sit. So, and then
Yeah.
she's been trying to start it because she's really into pets and animals, and she's just started doing something like that. So yes, maybe, who knows?
I think bringing to the house, if I had to bring the pets to my house, it's a lot of more responsibility because I
It
still
is.
have to go to work. Everybody
Mm-hmm,
knows that. Everybody
mm-hmm.
knows that I have to work, and Tuesdays and now anymore only Tuesdays. I stay all day. I go to Palm Beach and I leave
All day.
6:30 and come back 6:30 all day. So everybody knows that. Everybody's okay. Nobody complains. But it's a
That's
lot of
good.
responsibilities.
It
Last week,
is. It is.
not last weekend, last dog city that I did. One dog that I wasn't expecting to be there. She was with diarrhea. I don't know why she had diarrhea. And she had such a bad diarrhea, and I was so worried about the
Shoes.
poor little thing. And seems like they didn't believe too much on me, and and, I made rice for her because I was afraid that if she eats her food would be bad for her. So I made rice, and they have chicken. I did that, and then next day when I asked for her, they sent me a picture. She pooped red, pure blood almost. And I was so
Wow.
worried because I didn't give her anything besides her food. And the only thing she did different was drinking water from the pool, and that didn't do anything. I think she eats
Yeah.
anything that she finds in a yard. Probably
Yeah.
she ate
Yeah.
some bad stuff,
Or maybe
but
she's
that's
sick, really. I mean, she's it's just the beginning, and she's really sick. She needs to take care of some sort of disease.
no, I don't know. Now
I don't know.
next week I'm going to take care of her again.
Ah,
Three. This
so they
time I'm
did
gonna
believe you, because if they didn't believe you, they wouldn't call you back.
no.
All
Yeah.
right, good.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get started, and
Let's get
then the
started.
others might join us later and or see the recording of what we're doing here
Yeah.
today. First thing that I need to do is to say I'm sorry I did not upload tasks to Canvas for the writing, but it was a sort of calculated measure, so I
Okay.
decided not to because I think it's important maybe for me, instead of you doing that on Canvas and then writing the task. Maybe this is something that this is the first time that you do a writing, so it's a little bit better for us to talk because uh, let me see. I need to count on your memory here. We talked a little about writing, and you even looked
Mm-hmm.
at writing, an example of a writing for me. Remember that?
I remember it was about, let me see if I remember what was about. Oh my gosh, it's right here.
Okay, so
He explained, the person, I think was a boy or a man, he explained he explained Well, he didn't give too much explanation. He was the basic, and he had four paragraphs, and
That's it?
yeah, and he uses a lot of oh, I forgot the name, the the connectors,
Right.
and he
The
had
link.
beginning, middle, and end, but he didn't go
No,
deep in anything, and was
good.
very, yeah, it was very not not serious. I forgot the word for it.
It was superficial. It was very superficial on his
Superficial.
point of view.
Yes,
Yeah.
was very
Right. Yes.
superficial. And I don't remember
How?
what he was talking about.
No worries. We were discussing social media, and then
Social media, that's it.
the
Yeah.
writing that he did and that you need to do is about social media. Of course, you have different tasks. I mean, the one that you
Oh my
analyzed
God.
was one task, the one that you have to write about is another one. But we
Yeah.
use that one just to show you what a sort of average kind of writing would be. Somebody who responds to the task, but doesn't do much more than that. So this person does not go deeper in terms of offering arguments, and this person uses language which is it is okay, but it's more like B2 than C1. Considering that was a B2, it was okay, right?
Yeah.
Um, we are now thinking about more like C1 kind of writing, so it's more advanced kind of writing. And then what was
Mm-hmm.
missing, and I was going to do that to ask you to do that on Canvas, but then I decided to do that for the first time here with you, is to have a look. I mean, I gave you the task, didn't I? So you know
Yeah.
what your task is. But then what we did not check, maybe for that specific kind of writing or for all writings which are marked by Cambridge, was exactly the marking system. So you had to look at some important features of writing. You understood, for example, let's recap so that the others can also try, when they see the video, they can also try to recap.
Mm-hmm.
We understood that we were talking about essays. So, what kind of language are we supposed to use when writing essays? Formal, informal, semi-formal?
Well,
Help me here.
not too formal, but not too informal either. I think
Oh,
it can be in between.
semi-formal. Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
call semi-formal kind of language. We
Okay. Yeah.
avoid technical terms, we avoid very formal language, but you cannot resort to informal language. So things
No.
like contractions cannot be used. We
Mm-mm.
we can use phrasal verbs, but phrasal verbs are to be avoided when it comes to essays. So we should use the real verb. Uh, Um, and then and also the kind of language you use, considering that the one that you analyzed was B2, but the one that you are going to produce is going to be more like C1. You need to raise the bar a little. We need to use more well-built sentences, longer sentences that extend the idea, and with more precision in vocabulary. So do you remember that we also did a task on lexical precision? So let's
Mm-hmm.
use the words that really mean something instead of using the most general words that mean little. Um, all of this is more associated with C1. How you still do not know the grades you receive. You know that you receive from 0 to 5 because you also gave grades to that specific task. Remember that you gave me some
Mm-hmm.
grades, and we came to the conclusion that at the end it was more like a 3 kind of writing, which for a B2 is okay. It should be a pass. It's a narrow pass, but it's a pass. But we still don't know what. Uh, a text like that calls for in terms of the grades. So what we need to do, and I'd like to do that with you right now, is to have a look, Claudia, at the areas which are assessed when you do a writing like this. When you write a text for Cambridge, and now we are not talking only about C1, we are talking about B2, C1, and C2. All of the three, they have Cambridge uses four main areas to give you marks. I'm going to write them here. Let me share my screen with you. Just a minute.
I don't know what I did with my note, my book that I always write your. Aqui, C2. I found it. C2.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah. I can see the screen.
Terrific. So, what you need to have a look at is what Cambridge values, what Cambridge assesses when there's a whole assessment system, and there's a whole assessment process. So your writing goes to two different markers. So when you produce a writing for Cambridge, it goes to one marker. This person reads it and marks it, packs it, and sends it to someone else, to another marker. This person does the same thing without looking at his colleagues marking. And then
Oh.
when both after both do the same, they both mark, they pack, and they send it to the main supervisor. If the main supervisor sees that there is a discrepancy in terms of the marking between them, then he or she is going to adjust the marking. So normally there is no discrepancy. It's very difficult. We are trained to exhaustion really to get the same marks going on. But there might be cases in which the supervisor needs to adjust something. And there are four main areas that you need to be, they need to mark something. They need to give grades to. The first one, let me write here.
Are you
Uh,
one of the person that correct those tests?
yes, I am one of the markers.
The markers.
Uh, we, in fact, there are some around the planet. And whenever we have the test, I mean, it's like, 1 week without doing anything else, just marking, 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 marking,
Oh
because
my.
it's a lot of tests.
Uh-huh.
But it's a nice experience. Let me show you here. Uh, the first one is called, the area is called content.
Content.
So, any idea what they mark under content?
Maybe see if makes sense. The ideas connect with each other. If there is a story in a whole.
Exactly. All right, that's it. So, first of all, some of the questions that you have to ask yourself are, I mean, for the content, right? If let me just see if I can add this here to you. Can you still see my board?
Yeah.
Okay, just a minute. Just a minute because you disappeared. Okay, you're back here. So one of the things that they you have to ask yourself when it comes to content is, has the candidate answered the question? That's an important thing because that's what we discussed when you read the other one. Oops, sorry, there's my screen's skipping, jumping from one to the other. So that's
No,
what we
but for
discussed.
me, it's
Is
it's
it okay?
still doesn't, yeah, it doesn't go,
Ah,
it didn't go anywhere. It's right here.
right. Because for I don't know what's happening. For me, it is sort of taking small skips towards
Now
other
it
screens
is.
that I have to.
Now it is.
Ah, but
Maybe it
but
has
can
a
you
little
see?
delay.
Maybe so. But can you see the screen now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So the first thing that you have to ask here is, has the person answered the question? There is generally a question for you to answer. So
Uh-huh.
is this answer fully given? Is this question fully answered? That's an important thing to ask. So let me write here. So first one, has the candidate answered the question? And this is something that you came to the conclusion that happened with that specific test. So he answered the question, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then what you also need to ask is, uh, are all parts of the answer appropriately written for that? So uh, does he extend the idea? Does he give more? Does he go deeper? So another question
No.
that you have, and then in that specific task, that specific text, that was not the case, right?
Yeah.
So
He
does the candidate extend extend the main idea? So does he offer ideas that give support to that specific idea?
mm,
This
no.
is,
Well,
yeah,
he
this
did
that was not
one,
the, he
not
offered maybe
much.
a little bit, but not much, right?
Not
Which
much.
is a problem because it starts bringing the grade down. Maybe if he answered the main question, maybe if he offered the main idea, maybe he will get a 3. If it's well written, if there are few mistakes, he'll get a 3, which is more like a pass. But the point is, he could have gone for more. He could have done more. He could have got more. He could have got more from the text. And this is what C1 candidates and C2 need to show more. You know that for and this is something for you to consider when you're writing your text. For B2, there is a certain word length. For B2, we are talking about 180 to 260 words.
I was going to ask that if we are going to have
Yeah,
more words.
yeah, you are. But for C1, and the idea for this text that you have to write is a C1 text. So C1 goes from uh, 220 to 320. No, my mistake, sorry. Right, 220. So B2, 180 to 220. C1, 220 to 260. And C1 and C2, 260 to 320. So these are the word limits that are expected to be, you are expected to respect when you're producing a text for one of the Cambridge examinations. Then
Mm,
this text that you are going to write needs to be between 220 and 260. Maybe what happens is if you write, let's say, up to 10% more, it's okay. Nobody's going to punish you. But if you write 10% less, you're going to get punished in terms of the content. So Also, one of the questions here under content is, does the text respect the word length? So, especially the bottom one,
Um,
because writing more is it's sort of acceptable up to 10% more, but writing less is not. So you're going to have some points off here because of the number of words, right? Um,
so
and sorry, go on. You can ask.
only 10%, but if you have an idea going on and you need more, if you
Only
go
10%.
over the 10%, no, you
That's
can't.
why. That's why. And this is why I'd like to do this here with you today, because one of the things that people need to and test takers need to get used to is to sort of pre-organize their writing before they effectively start the writing. We have some difficult challenges here, Claudia, in terms of writing. The first one, yeah, is yes, the number of words you have to respect, right? But there is more because there is also the time. You have 75 minutes or 1 hour and 15 minutes to produce two writings. This means that you will have approximately 35 to 40 minutes to produce one full composition. At first, the first time, people panic. Say, I am not going to be able to do that. But as time goes by and as you practice, you see that if you apply the process that I'm going to suggest to your next writings, you're going to probably start automatizing the process of writing. So one of the things that I generally ask candidates to do first is read the text. Read the task. Use 2 minutes before you start writing and draw a skeleton. So this is going to be my introduction. In my second paragraph, I'm going to mention this idea. In my third paragraph, I'm going to develop this idea. In my fourth paragraph, this one, I'm going to close it this way. Remember that, and this is something that we discussed last class. When you write the last paragraph, you need to state your opinion about the topic. So your opinion must be stated in the closing paragraph. And this is skeleton that I generally ask people to think about, help you do exactly what you said, not to go on writing like crazy, and then when you see you have 300 words, and you cannot have 300 words, so you have to cut down on ideas. This helps you sort of keep your ideas in check, so you know that these are going to be the ideas I'm going to develop. This is one thing. Uh, I don't know about you. Do you like writing?
I do. Take a
Do
little
you
while
write?
to pick it up, but I like to write.
But do,
I
do
have
you
a
do you
little
like
bit.
fast?
I like what? Sorry.
Do you write fast? Do you write fast?
Um, Depends if I have the idea. Yes. Sometimes I I don't have the exact word, so I have to look for a word. Sometimes I don't know how I'm going to make that sentence. I write something, then I know I need. It's just like texting in English here. I read my text 300 times before to make sure that everything is right because I don't want to. But well, that's the way. Kind of I revise my reading, my writing all the time. And
Right.
sometimes I can't find the word to put in there. So I go to the dictionary and try to make sure that mother-in-law, she always had a dictionary. That's from her. She always had a dictionary. And she told me, you
Who
have to
always
have a
had
dictionary.
who's that?
My mother-in-law. My
Ah, your
mother-in-law.
mother-in-law. Right. Okay.
Yeah. And because you always need, and I like
Your
it so as
mother-in-law
well.
was American, right? Or is American? I don't know.
Yeah, she
Okay,
was an
was.
American.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, is yeah, no dictionaries permitted on this day, which means I have a very good idea. First one is any ideas that I have depends on how I organize my idea. Hey, how are you?
Hi, Danny.
Hello. How are you guys
Is
doing?
everything okay?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Um,
What?
did the rain come? Because Claudia said that you're
Yes,
expecting a lot.
it was. Yeah, it was a fast.
Good, good. So then we are here of
You are
the
breaking
just
up,
first.
Andre.
Yes.
Am I
Just because,
breaking up?
yeah, Danny came and you start breaking up.
Danny's
I'm
fault.
so sorry.
Danny's fault.
Danny's fault. No, no problem. Can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
Danny, what we're doing here is we are
Hmm.
revising the writing the talk less, so that you have all the information that you need to be able to write your piece. And I am sort of adding
It's
ideas in terms
it's
of
breaking.
writing,
It's
right?
breaking. I can understand what you're saying. It's breaking.
Can
Yeah.
you, there we go again.
There you go
Everything was
again.
so fine up to now.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was fine.
I think I gotta go.
Let
So
No,
no, stay there, stay there.
no. We start a minute before you came. When I
okay,
before you
it
came, it
wasn't my
started.
fault.
No, it wasn't your fault.
No, of course not. I think that considering that my internet is today is really reliable, it could be the system itself, big blue button. If it
Mm,
continues, then we move to Jetsy. We go to the other one,
okay.
right? So
Okay.
just let me know if I keep on breaking. So we were discussing the writing, and I was giving more information about writing that you need to do on the day of the
Mm,
exam in case you decide to do either C1 or C2 by the end of the year. And then Claudia mentioned something important, which was the difficulty that we sometimes have to organize ideas, to get our ideas, or even to have ideas. But then, Claudia, what I'm going to suggest is,
Hmm.
or ask is, do you need to have ideas, or do you need to use ideas which are maybe not yours, but you can use them? Because look, nobody from Cambridge is going to phone you and say, Claudia, do you really think that? Nobody's going to do that after.
No.
So what I'm saying is sometimes we do not have many ideas about something, but we know about the ideas that people have about something. And then you can, like social media, maybe you don't have lots of ideas to write about, but you know what is being discussed. You know what the discussion points are. So maybe you
Hmm.
can take a property. You can take those as your points, and then you use them in your writing. You also have the opposite. You have so many ideas. And then when you pre-organize your text in 1 or 2 minutes before you start writing, you decide which ones you're going to use because you have a word limit and you cannot write more than 260. That's the Daniel, that's the number that we have at the top. That's the number of words that you have to use. Yours will be C1 this time, 220 up to 260. So as what I'm trying to do here is to anticipate some of the problems that generally writers have. I was also asking Claudia if she likes writing, if she writes fast. How about you, Daniel? Do you like writing? Do I just come to you fast when you have to write something and you keep on you go on writing or not?
Uh, yeah, I really like to write, but the ideas don't come so fast like this. I need to take some notes, and then I will developing
Hmm. Yeah.
those phrases.
My
And
suggestion is always to, as you have those ideas, start thinking about them in a logical sequence along the main backbone, along the main skeleton of your text in the first 2 or 3 minutes. Because I also was telling Claudia that you have 75 minutes to write two compositions, which gives you something between 35 and 40 minutes for each. So you really need to make the process automatic. And this is something that you do by writing. Along the course, you're going to have some writings, and these are going to give you the chance to produce and to know more about you as a writer. I can give myself as an example. I am a slow reader. It takes me time to read and process, but I am a very fast writer. I can easily write 500 words in 30 minutes. Uh, I do not, I rarely stop. There are people, this is most people, who uh, they, they, they write one sentence and stop, and then they read it over, and then it takes them forever to write the second sentence and the third sentence. If that's the process with you, there are some exercises and I'll help you to make it more automatic, so that you don't go on getting stuck most of the time you write, because you have no time for that.
no,
One more
no
thing, one
time.
last, no time.
And that's the pressure.
Ah,
And you have to
yes,
write under pressure.
Yes.
yes. But look, the idea of this first writing is not the pressure. The idea of this first writing is for you to understand the general environment in which you have to write, and also to understand the marking system used by Cambridge, so that you know what to do. You know what to provide. For example, under content, there is only one question missing under content here, but under content, you already have some important questions to ask yourself. So this is what I'm telling you. This first writing is not, I'm not going to ask you to write under pressure. It's a beginning. And then you're going to tell me about your experience. Andrea, it was like that for me, or it was like that for me. This is next week or in 2 weeks' time. Then you let me know the experience of writing. Okay. But give me some minutes and I'll complete the task for you. So
Hmm.
far, so good? Is it okay?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes.
There is only one more question under content that you should be asking yourself, which is right. The first one is, has the candidate, that means you, has the candidate answered the question? Does the candidate extend the main idea? Does the text respect the word limit or the word length? And there is something else here, which is this is, and this happens a lot. Does this candidate add irrelevant information,
Mm. But
which is common, especially for those people who cannot come up with ideas? So they start talking about, for example, smoking, the problems about smoking, and then they start touching on what governments should be doing, and then they start writing about politics. So it goes it starts branching out of the main topic, and this is just for them to keep the text in fact. They are not adding irrelevant information to the topic. Go on.
You say they have to branching off, branching out. What's
Right.
that?
What
I never heard that
a good expression.
together.
Let,
The
let,
word
let me let me write it here. It's a good expression to branch.
Out of.
Let me
I never heard branch meaning or whatever that meaning is.
think about a tree and the branches. So
Okay.
the main trunk is the main idea,
Uh
and then
huh.
you have the branches of the tree going somewhere
Uh huh.
else. So this is what some candidates do. The main trunk, the trunk of the tree is the main topic, and then they start branching out of the main topic. They start going somewhere else, which is not the main topic. So they start adding
got
irrelevant
it.
information to the
Okay. All
topic,
right.
right?
Okay.
Uh, and this is an important thing. So these four questions will probably guide you in terms of understanding what you're going to receive marks for. So when we mark texts by candidates, these are four questions we always ask ourselves, right? While you're writing, while you're reading the texts. Um, there is something else for you to consider in terms of the writing, which is when you write, do you prefer typing or handwriting?
I have to write.
Handwriting.
Yeah, on
Handwriting?
paper. Yeah,
Yes.
handwriting.
That's good. That's good. Uh, this is a test you can take on a computer because there is an online version of C1 and C2, or you can take this exam in paper and pen. And then you
Okay.
have to go to a center that applies the exam. And then there is a day, you buy the exam, there's a day and time, you go there and do that by writing. Those two versions, those two modes are possible nowadays. But then, and this represents a challenge to some people because there are some people who write fast or write reasonably well when they are handwriting. But whenever you put them in front of the computer,
Yeah.
I don't know what happens. The interface interferes with their thoughts. Does it happen to you?
No, no.
So you can write well in both ways.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm thinking here about. I always, um, I'm always erasing, and if you think about on a computer, you just go delete, 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 delete. It's faster, I think, but I
It is.
prefer writing on paper. But
Me too. I have the
Yeah, me
same
too.
idea.
Yeah, me too. But there are some tricks you can use in handwriting, for instance, and this is I'm sharing a lot right now for you to get the whole, right? But little by little, you're going
mhm,
to develop that. You received line paper when you were going to write your compositions in hand. What happens is what you can do is use every other line, so you do not use all the lines. You write your first sentence and then you skip a line, write continue, skip a line, continue. Why?
mm,
Because if let's say if you come to the conclusion that you have to erase a long part of it and there is no time, what you can do is cross out one specific part and use the line just to write what the new text. So this is one one possible way to sort of deal with long delete parts of the text.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is not the best thing because uh, the readers are people. So we, the markers, we are people. So think about that. There are days that I have to mark 30 compositions. If I get to the last one and it's full of process
It's a mess.
it's a mess. I mean, visually speaking, I am already
It's
tired
not.
as a marker.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have an impact on me as a marker. So what you're going to do along the course is to find the best way, maybe not to erase too much, number one, and maybe to use these techniques to, whenever necessary, cross out one part and still have room in the paper to write something in. So this is just for you to keep on thinking about all of this. Even those who will be observing, who will be watching the video later, should be thinking about this, how you're going to go about your writing. But let's see. Okay, second area here uh, is find the right communicative achievement. So what do you understand by that? What does it check?
Are you
It's
communicating what your ideas? Are you
To whom?
passing
yeah,
the ideas
the
to
person who
the
is
oh,
reading can
Yeah,
understand what the
right.
message you can.
yeah.
So basically speaking, when it comes to communicative achievement, what it does is it's about how well. Let me see how well. I'm going to write the definition here because content is somehow okay. It's simple, but this is a little bit more complex. So how well the writing you are producing or your text click with or fits the purpose, audience, and genre. Think about the genre here. Essays. Essays. Let's try to complete the sentence. Essays are semi-formal texts that that do what? What is the
You
purpose?
can you can write
Um,
your opinions.
So,
tell a story. Too.
right. It's less about storytelling and more about your opinion about stories. It's
Yeah.
it's more
Mm,
about opinions, information, factual information, debates, discussions. So the question is, okay, maybe you have answered the question, but do you answer the question with clicking with or fitting the purpose of the text, which is the essay, discussing an idea, offering two sides to something, analyzing and debating? What is it that is proposed in the task? If you remember the task I gave you, it's something like that. It's about social media, right? And it says, should governments censor or, I don't know, restrict or something like this? So look, this is the kind of topic that lends itself to a debate. What is the discussion? Positive aspect of doing that? negative aspect
Negative.
of the
Negative
text.
aspect.
This is the proposal of an essay to discuss ideas, to offer opinions, to show both sides, and then the genre, because it's semi-formal and it's about opinions and ideas and debates. Uh, it communicates a message to an audience. It's not going to be your best friend. So, who are you writing to? Who's the audience of your text? And this is something that you always need to have in mind. When you read essays, generally they are not written by your friends. You're not writing an essay to a friend of yours. Who are you writing essays for?
In our case, on doing the thing for not the judge. You said that
No, 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 no,
the
no.
word.
Forget the exam. Whenever in real
Oh,
life, when
okay.
you write an essay, who do you write it for? Do you write it for your family? No.
No,
Who do you write
to some
essays for?
to somebody else to read, to somebody else
Who
that
is
you
this
don't
somebody
know.
else?
We
Who
don't
is
know.
Uh,
interested in the subject?
All right. So when you say, Danny, that those are the people interested in the subject,
Yeah.
we are talking about the general public, but you're also talking about the general public who would like to read something in a semi-formal kind of register. So maybe
Mm,
people who parts of the academy, maybe people who are looking for formal kinds of formal texts to form their opinions about something. Technical, maybe technical blogs. So what I'm saying here is that the audience varies. If you're writing an informal letter, you're writing an informal letter to a friend. But if you're writing an essay, you're never writing to a friend. And that
No.
is and that is the what we call register. And this is maybe the first question that you have to ask yourself. So is the register appropriate? Formal, semi-formal, informal. Also, does the candidate use the right tone? What do you understand by tone here?
it's like at the
Those are
register.
so
Sorry,
hard
sorry. Go on.
questions.
Say, Claudia.
I was going to say though we know what it is, but it's hard to explain,
Yeah, it is. It is
right?
hard. Uh, for instance, can essays be critical? Yes.
Yeah,
So being critical is a kind of tone. You can write an
yeah,
essay to be critical
Oh,
of a subject. So you make your tone here is critical. Can you write an essay to support an idea? Yes. So your
yes.
tone will be supportive to the idea.
Supportive.
So it can be critical, supportive.
Critical.
There can be different tones, but the tone must be clear from the beginning. So in your introduction, if you, for instance, if you're thinking about the government regulating social media, to say, and then let's say that you are not very sure about that. You're really you don't think this should be your final idea at the end of the essay. It will be personally, I think that governments should not regulate social media. So say the very beginning will invite the reader to read your text, already anticipating a tone of disbelief. So you already in the very beginning, maybe you can ask a question like, but should it's important for all governments, should blah blah blah, 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 but should they spend time and tax money to regulate something that should be regulated by the individual? Now, this when you ask a question like that, you already set the tone to critical plus disbelief in terms of the task, which says that governments should do that. So you see what I mean? The tone
Mm-hmm.
reveals part of the communicative intent of the person. The message I want to communicate is not only the answer to the question, but it's how I am answering the question, but I'm answering the question in a very critical tone or in a very supportive tone. You are going to define the tone of the writing. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
Wonderful. And this is for all writings. We are discussing essays right now, but this is for all kinds of writing, right?
All kind of writing.
Um,
Yeah.
right. Typical problems here, as a marker, I can tell you, typical problems here that happens in terms of essays is we mark essays which are very wrong in terms of the register. They are very informal. They use very informal language. They have a very silly tone, maybe, or there is a complete lack of conventions. For instance, how many paragraphs did I tell you that an essay has?
4, 5.
That's it. There are sometimes there was one last year. We got an essay which was two major blocks of text, like two paragraphs. So this is lack of conventions. The convention is 4 to 5 paragraphs, and that's what it should be like. And this is also part of the communicative achievement. It impacts communicative achievement. So here, just make sure does the candidate respect the conventions, the writing conventions? Let me just move the other ones here just a second.
There is somebody talking to you.
No, it's the cat. Sorry about
I know it's the cat. I know it's the cat. That's why
okay.
there's somebody
Uh,
talking to you, want your
yeah, exactly.
attention.
Yeah. Sometimes he gets annoyed that he cannot take part in the lesson and he starts meowing, meowing, meowing. It's like crazy, but it's gone now. So, so this is the communicative achievement. He also received from 0 to 5 a mark for communicative achievement. The third group is okay.
Now it's breaking. Now
Right.
it's breaking up.
Now I got was a problem in action.
I
Am I
can't
back?
understand. I can't make sense of your sentence. Blame the cat. No,
Is it
no,
No, it's breaking. It's breaking. Yeah.
no,
you?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
no,
Okay. Just a second.
Can you?
no.
It's breaking.
Let me change my internet. Okay. The network. Messaging. Danny,
Hmm?
you are locked.
What?
Why? It says here that you are locked.
Oh, my camera is not working today. I don't know why,
Um,
but my microphone is working.
uh-oh. We are done.
Can you hear me
No.
now?
E-
Danny, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see if it now goes this way into the end. Let me share my screen again.
Claudia,
Yeah.
when you say
In-
that my camera is blocked,
No, not. I didn't say your camera is blocked. I'm saying that you were locked.
I'm blocked.
Above above, no, below your name. Is
Okay.
do you know? It's you see in
I
the
can
left
see. Yes,
hand
yes, I can
side
see.
of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Before was red and was locked.
Okay.
yeah, I can hear you, Danny, but I cannot see you.
My camera is
No.
not
It's okay.
working today. I don't know why.
It's okay. It was working right in the beginning. You said hi, and then it disappeared, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
So let's see if you can continue now.
Okay.
Right. Let me. Do you see the screen again?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, right. So these are the two main groups, and then the two first groups, and then you also have the third group. And there are four on the whole, right?
That's what
Let
you
me.
said. There was four.
Yes. You also
Communicative
have the
achievement.
famous organization.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes.
So this is how you structure the text and how it flows. If you're thinking about an essay in which you're going to present the two sides of one thing. So first paragraph is for the
Introduction.
Present
introduction.
introduction.
Second paragraph
It's the positive opinion.
could be, yeah.
You know?
So you develop what is positive about that. Third
Mm-hmm.
paragraph, then what is not, the
Uh-huh.
drawbacks, the disadvantage, anyway, the negative issue that has to do with that. And the last paragraph, the conclusion, where,
Conclusion.
remember, your opinion
Opinion.
needs to be. So this is one possible kind of organization. The important thing is your text needs to show some kind of organization. The first paragraph is the introduction. The last one is the conclusion. That never changes for an essay. But maybe in the middle, maybe you are going to you're not showing the bad, the positive and negative. Maybe what you're doing is you have a supportive view of something, and you're going to mention three ideas in three different paragraphs, and then you need to uh, ask yourself, how am I going to organize these three ideas in a way it makes sense? Maybe from the most general idea to the most specific, maybe the opposite, from the most specific to the most general. In which way am I going to place these ideas, one per paragraph, in a way it makes organizational sense to the reader? Do you see what I mean? It's not
Mhm.
only about there isn't only one. You decide on the organization, but there must be some sense of organization there. So, and this is generally registered. This is generally seen by the marker through the how logically the text is written. So is the text logically written? Coach. That means uh, the progression makes sense. So I move from the first idea to the second to the third. There is a logical progression there. Also, if it doesn't matter the tone, it doesn't matter if I'm being critical, if I have positives and negatives, if I'm being supportive, it doesn't matter. Are the paragraphs used to develop the ideas and the ideas only? So do the paragraphs have a very clear, do paragraphs have a clear function? So if this paragraph is supposed to write about the positives of something, it should be writing about the positive aspects of that. If it's the opposite, then it must be explicitly clear the function of that specific paragraph. Um, does the candidate use? Remember, we discussed that last class. Does the candidate use the linking devices? So, and this is something important. Not only between sentences, but also between paragraphs. Give you an idea. If you're writing an essay which is supportive to a topic, and then you introduce the first paragraph, second paragraph, you're going to mention an idea X. So you start, first of all, blah, 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 blah. The third paragraph, then, you could start second. And then the next paragraph, a third idea here should be, because then you are using sequence linkers, sequence linking devices to tie the paragraphs together. So it's not only between sentences, but the paragraphs must be linked together, especially by the
Okay.
use of linking ideas. And this is an important thing. Linking ideas, linking devices, and also referents. We are going to see them in the future, right? Referents. But just to exemplify, demonstrative pronouns are called referents. For instance, uh, um, I think that governments should not regulate social media, period. This is something that needs to be done by the word this refers to the previous idea you mentioned. So it's called referent. That's a simple demonstrative pronoun that refers you to an idea that has been mentioned before without repeating all the idea again. So linking devices, referents, ideas, all of these can be used to tie the text together, not only sentences, but also uh, uh, paragraphs. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Obviously, you cannot overcrowd the text with
No.
connectors, with linking devices,
No.
just when necessary. Uh, there was a text, some I think 2 years ago, in which I think that the candidate used all linking devices that he remembered. So I think there was over 30 linking devices,
Oh
and this
my
is not the
gosh.
idea. The
No.
proposal is to use linking devices when necessary for you to keep
When
the text
necessary.
connected. So here we are talking about, when it comes to organization, we are talking about cohesion and coherence. So far, so good. You're
So
going to the
far, so
last
good.
group. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's
All right.
get it.
Here, let's get to the last group then.
Let's go.
Last group is the one that you are going to have less trouble with because this is the one that I have been learning a lot to use, or this is the language group.
Language.
So
Ay, Andrea.
you may have more trouble with the other three groups, but not with
What
language
happened?
I think that's
because
going to be the biggest problem.
no, 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 no. Now you are activating a lot already. Some lots has had lots of ideas and new vocabulary, new language have been coming back to you. I can see that when you speak. I can see that you had in the beginning of uh, our course, you had more trouble expressing yourselves. Nowadays, you can express yourselves more naturally. That means you are probably finishing the phase of activation, and there is a phase. This is not me who's saying, right? This is neuroscience. You have about 45 days doing a course like that to start activating, because there are lots of things that you have been exposed to, but you never used. So what you do is you throw it back to the long-term memory, and it's there somewhere. But then when you start a course like that, you start retrieving this information, and then it's ready to use. You are more likely to find it faster. And then I'm quite sure that with all the exposure, with so much of language that you have been analyzing and seeing and learning, you'll be more and more capable of writing text without too many mistakes. There will be mistakes. This is part of the game. I never got one text from even a fantastic candidate who's quite well prepared without mistakes. But the problem is not the mistakes. The problem is making mistakes that you can make. For instance, if you're writing at C1 level, you cannot make a mistake in verb agreement. So writing, for example, she have been doing. This is a mistake that comes from B1, A2. This is a mistake from pre-intermediate level. She have.
That's my
She have been
my
doing.
big mistake.
Yeah, but
I
this
when you
is to
start
do.
to have been.
This has to do with use, Claudia. What you have to do is to monitor your use more frequently so that you use the correct form. This is a lot to do, Claudia, in circumstances exactly where you are, living in places where when the language is uh, incorrectly spoken in general. So you are always exposed to, not always, but most of the time, you're exposed to wrong models.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you do is you start a process called fossilization. So you start fossilizing the use of these models. You're going to, in the second lesson today, I'm going to give you an example of that. But yes, you know it's wrong. And this is my point, because if you know it's wrong, you'll be able to write, you will not make this mistake probably when you're writing your composition. Can you make mistakes? Yes, but you can make mistakes at your level. If you make a mistake using the second or third conditional form, okay, but you cannot make a mistake in verb agreement, in basic verb agreement, because this is not your form anymore. So
I'm
you
going
see,
to avoid the. I avoid the have been.
yeah, but this is one of them. There are some others. But what the point is, language will probably not be a problem for you. Not what I mean by language is the language that cannot be a problem, because little by little we are going to remove the obstacles of intermediate, pre-intermediate, upper intermediate issues from your use of language so that when you make mistakes at a higher level. That these are called higher level mistakes,
Mm.
right? Okay, so in terms of language, sorry, go on.
Sorry, you were talking, and I was thinking one thing that I saw on internet. A guy, it was in the streets making some questions for the people who were passing that there, and he was asking for them, and what is the past tense of go? They know, just didn't know the answer.
Wow.
The
Exactly.
native.
Yeah, I know, I know. You should, you should see. I mean, it native people whose first language is English cannot take passes by Cambridge, right? Not the proficiency exams, but they can do, for example, courses like CELTA. And I told you about CELTA. It's a teaching course by Cambridge.
Mhm.
And I tutor at least two or three CELTAs every year. I have a lot of problems, but a lot of problems when one of the CELTs is a native person from an English-speaking country. Because in those courses, they have to do language analysis, and they suffer a lot because they have not learned the language they speak. So
You
they don't
have
know.
native students.
Oh, yes, I do. Lots of them.
Oh,
Uh, the last year was, for example, I was giving a course in Northern Ireland to 12
oh,
people who speak in English from Northern Ireland. And when it comes to language analysis, they have a lot of trouble because they don't know the language. They can speak the language
yes.
naturally, but they have no idea what the past of a verb is or the past perfect is. They go crazy. So
They
this
know
is
how
what
to
you're
speak,
talking about.
but they
Yes,
don't know grammar. That
that's it.
happened to me a lot because I ask the whatever I'm talking to, what's the something? If that what you call the, if that for instance, I'm not sure if it was like that. If that a numeral, you say yes. I didn't know that. You know more than me. I don't know. They don't. They
They
really
don't.
don't.
They don't. Yes. I mean, only if they have learned language, like the people have done
Yeah, they
language at
know how
school
to
and stuff. But
speak and they use everything, but they don't know grammar. They don't.
that's it. And and it's hell for them to deal with grammar and vocabulary. But this is what you're supposed to be dealing with when you I mean, this is one of the areas you receive grades for when you write your composition. That's grammar and vocabulary. So the questions I have to ask yourself is there a wide range? Because here in grammar and vocabulary, we are talking about range and control. Oops, sorry.
Range.
Range. Range is wide range or narrow range. So
But range,
you
what
let
range?
again, wide range, narrow range. That means if you're a C1 student, if you're a C1 candidate, if you're doing a C1 or a C2 exam, which is advanced or proficiency, the two top exams by Cambridge, can you use only simple present of simple verbs in your writing? No,
No, no
because then you are limiting the range of
range.
language. You need to widen the range. So you need, that's what we have been discussing along the course. You need to raise the bar. You need to take risks. You need to bring some passive voice. You need to bring some conditional form. You need to bring some more advanced kind of language to your text. Remember last class when you analyzed expressions like it's alleged that this is passive voice. So this is C1 level. This means the range, oops, is wide.
Okay.
But if you
Okay.
write if you write a composition using only verb to be, or those simple verbs and only in the present, this the range is this small, and then your grade is going to be this small too for language. It's not only control, which means right or wrong. It's also the range. So it's range and control of
And
language.
control.
It's easy to
Can
control
I
when you just use verb to be, but can you control it well when the range is a bit wide? Go on, Danny.
can I say extensive range?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me write it here. Does the text show extensive range of language? And by extensive, obviously, nobody expects you to come up with 15 different forms. That's not what is meant. But they do expect you not to write a full text using
Only
very, very
present.
basic language, not
Yeah.
only in terms of grammar, but also in terms of vocabulary.
So
Also,
is that is sorry, is
no, no,
acceptable if I, for instance, there's a verb that's the irregular verb. I know the form of the one of them, past or future. Is acceptable. I use the did and put the normal the I don't know the verb.
it depends. It depends on what you want to do, Claudia. If obviously if you're writing a question just to provoke the audience, then you're going to use did if it's simple past. So it's okay.
Hmm.
You can use that. You cannot only use that at C1 level. So you cannot
No.
only use simple past, but you can use a
Hmm.
simple past. It does not mean that you cannot use basic forms. It means that you cannot only use basic forms.
Yeah, I understand. I understood, but I think I didn't make myself clear.
Give me an example.
For instance, for instance, let's see if I don't know how the past tense of do is. Do? No. Go.
Go. Right.
For instance, I don't know how the past tense of go. And then I want to say that I went. I went somewhere. And I forgot what's the past tense is. And can I say I did go to that place?
Nope. And that's why I was asking you. It depends on what you want to transmit. When you say I did go, you are adding emphasis.
I didn't go. No.
No, I
I
did.
didn't. No, I did, right? Yeah, I
When
did
you
go.
say I did go to that place, you are adding emphasis, which
Hmm.
means you change the general meaning of the sentence. It's not an informational sentence anymore. It's a
No.
sentence that gives a special emphasis to the fact that you went somewhere, which means that this fact has a very important, it has a lot of importance in the context of the writing, and that's not the case. So, nope.
Hmm. Nope.
That's why
Okay. All right.
unfortunately, that's why we discussed last class lexical precision. You really need to choose the words that mean what you want to say. Because if you do something like that, what you're doing is you are changing the meaning of the sentence.
Yeah.
A sentence like that could be said in a certain circumstance. For instance, you say, I went to the shopping mall yesterday, and the person looks at you and said, no, you didn't. You stayed home yesterday. I know you stayed home. And then you say, no, I did go to the shopping mall yesterday. This means I am disputing the fact. And I am disputing the fact based on the fact that I'm using the auxiliary to give emphasis to the message. You
The
cannot use
message.
that in a simple sentence because then you change the general meaning of the circumstance. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
So I have
I'm
to know.
sorry,
I have
you
to
do
know
have to
the
know.
past tense of
Oh
the
yeah.
irregular verb if I want to use it.
The past tense and the past participles.
Participle, yes.
Yes.
Do because of the perfect aspect. So when you use the
Yeah.
present perfect, past perfect, you need the participles. But
Most
this
of
is,
them I know how to use, but the ones that we use all the time. But some that you never use, it's hard to remember.
I
Well, we
know, I know.
have to change the word if I have to do that.
Maybe this is called circumlunction. This is a technique. Whenever you cannot find exactly the form of the verb that you want to use, you can find a substitute, a synonym, or something like this, which is even if it's easier, it's okay. There are some techniques to use, and this is one of them. It's okay. What you cannot do is to just use basic vocabulary all through the compositions.
No, no,
But
okay. Yeah.
no, once here, once there, fine, no problems. So does the text show extensive range of language? This is important. And the other question has to do with control. That's to do with the mistakes, right? If with the errors. So does the text contain too many errors, especially that impede communication? There are different kinds of errors, right? Some errors, as we discussed that, you can make mistakes at your level. It's okay when trying to use more sophisticated grammar. We sometimes make mistakes. The question is, do they stop communication from happening? Just before I give you 10 minutes to refresh, let me give you an example. This is not about writing. The example is from the speaking part of the test. There is an interview in the test that you take in couples. So it's only two people taking the interview. Always two people taking the interview. And there was a C1 last December. There was one test in which the person had trouble with the pronunciation of a certain sound. I'm not going to say the sound because then I'm going to review the problem. And there was a question about this. They had to ask each other questions about family members. And then the boy was talking about his that's not the boy, he was 20 years old. He was talking about his grandfather who was not from Brazil and who had been to one war. I can't remember which war. And then he said something like this, my grandfather fought a lot during the war. It made perfect sense to me. My grandfather fought a lot during the war because that's what we do in wars, we fight. So he used the past simple, or fine, he fought a lot during the war. And then he continued and said, and that's why he learned so much. And then I had more trouble. I said, well, right. People
Mm,
fight a lot, but I'm not sure that people learn from fight. Well, maybe in a more practical way, people learn from fighting. And then I understood what he had said. He said fought, but what he meant to say was thought,
but
the simple past
Oh,
of think.
think.
So he was going to say, my grandfather thought a lot during the war, and he, because of a problem in the phoneme, he said fought. And I only got his idea because of the second part of the sentence. This is all to say that some mistakes stop communication. That mistake that he made stopped communication for me because it took me somewhere else. He meant A and I understood B because of the mistake he made. This is a break in communication. There are silly mistakes that do not break communication. They do not impede communication. But when you're writing your text, say, okay, do my mistakes, are my mistakes maybe too serious or too basic, or do they impede communication from happening? These are the four areas you receive grades for. Let me put them all
Okay.
here. Content, communicative achievement, organization, and language. Now, sorry about that. Having said that, I think this was an important thing to say. Uh, uh, you have your task, the one I gave you last Thursday. You have the exact task that you need to write. You know the number of words that you have to respect. You know what you have to respect in terms of the grades that you receive, and you receive from 0 to 5 in each of these areas of these criteria. Uh, what you need to do is then set a day and time for you to write your text. As I mentioned before, Claudia and Danny, and afterwards Ju and Bella, I don't want this first task to be a burden in terms of the pressure of time. Because again, when you do the exam, it's two compositions in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. But let's try the following. Let's say you cannot spend more than 1 hour to get to your final text. So we are going to start with 1 hour. And by the end of the course, we're going to start reducing to the point of getting to the end of the course with you using 35 minutes to write a full composition. But let's start this first time, with 1 hour. Do you think it's okay, Claudia and Denny?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
But you didn't give us the test,
I
the
didn't give you the
example.
task.
No, you said you were going to put on a
All right.
right,
So
Danny?
no problem. I'm going to give
Yeah,
you right after the
you
break.
said you were going to put on the canvas, and I don't think so. You did. Do you?
No problem. No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. But I thought I had given to you last Thursday. I'm going to give it
You
to you
showed
again.
us. You gave us
I
a sneak
showed
peek.
you. Right. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
you gave us
Okay.
a sneak peek.
Wonderful. I will send you in a minute. I'll send you the task. So 1 hour, and then try to, if possible, spend 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes pre-organizing your ideas. So brainstorm, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to write about this, and that. Write the skeleton, my introduction, and then paragraph 2, and then paragraph 3, this idea. Just write one idea. Paragraph 4, one idea, and then conclusion with my final opinion. Uh, and only then should you go back to the paper and write. And then in terms of writing, you can choose if you're going to type or to handwrite it. But this choice has to do with a possible choice of doing the exam online or going to a center. in paper and pen. So this is something you have to ask yourself. If you really intend to do this exam at a certain point in time in the future, am I more likely to do that online, or am I more likely to go to one of the centers and do that there, handwriting the exam? Depending on your choice, stick with it. So if you believe that you're going to be doing that online, then you're going to write your composition using Word, open a Word, start
Maybe we
and type.
could maybe we could train both ways.
Maybe you could. And I think that's a very nice idea. I wouldn't ask that of you, Danny, because I know you have lots to do and this is time consuming. But if you can, yay, good, terrific. I I I think it's a nice idea. But then it doesn't matter if it was typed or if it was handwritten. When you have it done, there will be a place on Canvas for you to upload it to, and I'm going to do the marking, and you're going to see your marking for the composition. But again, 1 hour. And if possible, and I don't know if this is possible, if possible, let's start doing this under exam conditions. That means see if you can find in the next 2 weeks one day and in which you have 1 hour with no interruptions, no cell phone, no TV, no music, no interruptions. Hopefully, somewhere you sit down like you're sitting right now, either at a table or in front of a computer, and for 1 hour, no bathroom, no ladies' room, no toilet, no. All you can have is water. No cookies and milk, just water
No
and no
bathroom, no
interruption.
water.
No bathroom.
No bathroom, no water.
No, yeah, exactly. No bathroom, no water. Uh, because if when you have to do the exam, this is what it's going to be like. For the 75 minutes, you are either in front of the computer or sitting at a desk writing your text. So let's see if you can, how difficult it is for you to do something like this. See if you can put yourself under exam conditions. Do you think it's possible?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So terrific. Okay, so let's have a 10-minute break for you to
Okay.
refresh. See you
All
Okay.
back
right.
here at 6:50. Oh, for me,
Okay.
50.
right? And
Okay.
then 4:50 for Claudia.
450 for me. Okay.
See you.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.
Was off here. I don't know if I slept, but
No, those dozing off is okay, but sleeping is different from dozing off, right? I mean, sleeping is like a different state of mind.
yeah, I think I did. And I
All
woke
right,
up
okay.
saying, "Oh my gosh, I did they start without me? Let me check the computer."
I don't know about Danny. I have trouble sleeping for the past 20 years.
Oh
Now it's
no.
better,
Yeah.
but I suffered a lot with insomniac nights and so now it's better, thank God. But I have suffered a lot with sleepless nights. How about you, sleepless nights? How about you, Danny?
I have insomnia too,
Do
but
you?
this week I have been sleeping a little bit well, little bit better. And when I can't sleep immediately, I take some melatonin. That helps.
It
So I
it
wake
it
up
does.
only in the morning.
It does to me too. But for melatonin to help me, I must take it for about 40 days or less. And then
Oh
I
my.
start feeling some
40
sort of
days?
yeah. I mean, It's not like, no, I take it once and always fine. No, it takes time for it to act. And then I start
Wow.
feeling a bit
Wow.
dizzier, and but it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it was worse in the past. Now I sleep better, thank God. So, as promised, I'm going to show you the task, your writing task. Can you take a
Okay.
picture? Because I can send it to you
Yes.
afterwards, and I will. But just take a picture for you to have it. Right. This is it. Can you read it for me,
That's
Debbie?
it?
That's it.
Yes.
Oh,
Some
Can you
people
read it?
believe,
Go on.
okay, some people believe that the media should always tell the truth, while others argue that some information should be controlled or withheld. Discuss both views and give your own opinion.
that wasn't what you show us last time.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Yeah, it is different from the one that you evaluated when you read the composition, right? That was a different topic, right?
But you showed
Mm-hmm.
us a bigger thing, a bigger text.
Right. But this is the one, and this
Okay,
is how
good.
this is how the tasks are going to be given on the day of the exam. So it's something like that. It's generally one or two sentences explaining what a task is, and then they give you directions like discuss both views and give your own opinion. So in this case, when they say discuss both views, they already tell you something about the organization of the text. There will be an introduction, then you're going to separate one or two paragraphs for one view, and then one or two paragraphs for another view, and then you give your personal opinion by the end.
Yesterday I was on, I think I was in the internet, I'm not sure. And the reporter, a Brazilian reporter actually, he was talking about the war and how what you can say in the news about the war, about what you see in the war, and
Hmm.
what you cannot say that you saw. For instance, he said, we see parts of the body, a leg here, an arm over there. We see all this, but we cannot say that we saw that when we're going to write down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. This is
Something
exactly
that has
what this is
something to
about.
do
It
with
is,
that.
uh, what should be said? How much should
Yeah.
be shared by the means of communication? I mean, should they always tell the truth, the whole truth, the naked truth, or should they uh, sort of withheld some information, choose what to show, what not to show, what to share, what not to share? For I told you last class, I'm a journalist. For journalists, this is a horrible question
Mm-hmm.
because this has to do with some sort of screening of information. So, who am I to judge what you should be seeing or not? I mean, this is all for you to take into consideration as you write your text. Let's say, considering this is the first one, you don't need to write it for next week. We can understand that it's going to be for April 23rd. Is this the correct one? I mean, next week will be 16. Yeah,
Yeah,
23rd.
the 23rd. Yeah.
So let's see if you can upload this or send me this into April 23rd, because then I'll have a very good look. I'll do the marking, And then we're going to use part of the lesson of April the 30th to discuss a little the writings that you have produced.
Ernie,
Deal?
do you listen?
Yeah,
What
I'm
happened?
here. I'm just quiet. I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't hear you. What happened?
No.
No, stop.
I we can hear you. Can you hear me, Danny?
This new computer is a
Yes.
piece of work. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Say something.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I
Hey,
don't
you
know what.
guys.
Oh,
Hey there.
Isabella.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hi.
Fine, and you?
Good.
Great.
All right, great. Really, really tired, I suppose, right? Because how has it been, the new experience of working that much?
Well, it's been great. Actually, after 5 p.m., the volume of calls gets slower, but
That's good.
during the rest of the day, it's just too much. We have back-to-back calls sometimes within less than 2 minutes, so it's a lot.
And it's straight from 10 o'clock up to 7, just 1 hour
Y-
for lunch.
yes, actually, we have two 15-minute breaks. But it's 50 minutes is it's not enough.
Because it's a lot of attention, right? You have to be attentive all the time.
Yes, all the time. That's right. I mean,
Not the
it's
kind of
been two.
job that you can just, I don't know, dream away for a while and then come back. No, you have to be attentive all the time.
Yes, exactly. So for example, if I don't have a call, um, I can, I don't know, read something, check the news and all, but if the phone rings, I have to have all my attention. So,
Right, okay. And that drains, right? Also because I mean it's a lot to do with the attention, but also to do with the what you say, how you say, uh, choosing the right words.
exactly. Yeah, we have to be accurate. And I already noticed that sometimes it's not possible to be 100%. So you gotta go with what do you have. I
Yeah,
mean, we can ask for time to search for terminology. That is the most important thing, right? We have time. We can ask for time. But some providers they don't like when we do that. But we
really.
need. We're not doctors. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Yeah.
they rate some of the calls because we receive video and audio calls. The audio ones are not rated, but the video ones, yes, they are. And I remember that on my first day, a provider gave me a very low score because I was asking him to repeat things. I'm not really used to Indian accent. And yes. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. And after some time, he hung up on my face, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I was so upset because of that. Yeah, but now it's past like
Language.
yeah.
Sometimes when I
Language.
have to talk to somebody like customer service or somewhere, and the Indian person answer the phone, oh my God, it is terrible. I have to ask to repeat a lot of times because I don't understand what they are
It's a
talking.
challenge.
It
It
It's
is
a
is.
for
challenge.
sure.
And I'm only communicate to simple things. There's no translation, interpretation on the process. Imagine who Isabella that has to accurate what she's
Yeah.
delivering.
But thank God it was just one bad experience because I had some other Indian providers and I could understand them perfectly.
You know what? You're going to get used to that, Bella, because the more expose yourself to that, the easier it's going to be. 10 years ago, I developed the first website of my company with an Indian company, and I had the hell of a time in the beginning because he didn't understand me, I didn't understand him. We had online meetings, and it took us forever to understand each other. But then, as time went by, he got used to me, and I got used to him. Uh, uh, and say, okay, it on a more regular basis. And now Indian English is okay. I'm fine with Indian English. Nowadays, what I have trouble with is Chinese English, but Indian
Right.
English is reasonably okay with me. Like Irish English is fine, but Chinese English is still a problem.
Right.
So,
I
you
don't
know,
Isabella,
remember anyone speaking Chinese with me, but I think I would struggle. And the thing is that in my case, I don't think it was really the exposure that made me understand better. I really think the other providers speak English better than this doctor. Really.
and you had to interpret him speaking English to Portuguese, or
Yes, yes. It was an appointment. There was the patient, so he would speak in English. I would translate into Portuguese, and patient's Portuguese, and I would translate into English for him.
and he was the
wow.
doctor.
Yeah, he was the doctor. Not really friendly. As you could see, he hung up on my face, but okay.
Yeah,
No
no,
hard
yeah.
feelings.
There's a lot of Indian doctors here. Lots. They
Oh
come
yeah,
here
that's
to
true.
they come here to be doctors, and they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. But that's
Okay.
that's 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 I think the word language here is, I mean, this is good. It's a wonderful thing that this talk has come to life because this is one this is the main topic that you're going to start today and have for the next two or three classes. Language. That's what we are recycling and refreshing and improving here. But that's so difficult. Do you speak any other language than Portuguese and English?
I speak a little Spanish. I understand a lot of better than I speak, and I'm learning French.
All right. I'm the opposite. I am C1 in French, and although I studied 7 years of my life Spanish, my Spanish sucks.
Really?
It sucks big time, really. Uh, so nobody here speaks Italian, for instance, or Chinese or Japanese.
No, I understand Italian if they don't speak too fast because
Yeah,
there's a lot of
yeah.
I think
I'm.
Italian is easier than Spanish.
Yeah.
Which one is easier than Spanish? Italian.
easy.
Italian, yes,
You think so?
Uh,
I don't
I
know.
think so.
I don't like Spanish. Let me tell you this. I really don't like Spanish. I think Italian is beautiful, but I think Spanish is horrible. Anyway, this is not important. Do you remember
Uh,
the first word that you let's go to the second. You probably learned English as a second language, right? All of you.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember what you learned first?
Verb
Like the
to
first word
be.
that you learned? Verb to be.
always verb to
Yes.
be.
Always verb to be.
But you had learned
Yes.
some word before, didn't you? Like, I don't know, some of the words they use in all cultures, like delivery, or you
No.
no, it was verb to be.
Yeah,
Verb to
I
be, week, days of the week, numbers 1 to 10. That's what I
yeah,
remember the first
I
most.
think I think we're old, Andre.
We
This
are also
Anglicism
believers.
started a few years, I mean, not a few years ago, but
Oh,
when
but
we started to
believers.
learn English, we didn't have many words in English like we have today.
Ah,
Maybe
come on.
hambúrguer e hot dog,
We,
Yeah,
hot
and a
dog.
hot dog. Yeah.
I think
Maybe these two.
we learned basic English
I
in
think
high school.
Just like Claudia said, I had contact first with numbers, colors, verb to be.
Yeah,
Colors, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
All right, but colors, yes. So you knew before verb to be, you knew what blue was like.
Bluey,
Yeah.
yellow,
Blue.
bluey, red, pinky.
Right.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh,
Uh,
I wanna die when I listen to this because there are so many bad teachers. They don't teach people with the correct pronunciation, you
no.
know?
Yeah.
I used to say
But I
the word answer. I used to say answer word, answer word, something
answer.
like
All
that.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The problem is that there are some of those things that we learn when you're very young. They and then we use them forever until we discover they are wrong. And what happens is we hit a wall because I was talking about that before because these have been fossilized or these have
Mm-hmm.
they have fossilized for you. So it change. It takes about this is statistics, right? It takes about 18 months more or less for you to defossilize a mistake. So
Oh my
it
god.
takes long for you to defossilize. And there are some mistakes that some people carry for ever or for long. Give you some examples of them. So we have been in the lessons I have had, I have helped you correct some of the things that you thought, all right, I thought I was correct, but in fact it's wrong. So this is the kind of thing that we discover when
Yeah.
you are B2, C1, C2. So wow, no kidding. Uh, and this is language. Can you think, right, before I ask you one more question that is even more difficult, can you help me analyze just the word language in terms of the collocations? Which verbs do you think I mean, which verbs can we use with the word language here? Like verb plus language. I'll give an
Learn,
example. We learn a language,
Learn.
right? Good. Um, if it's a little bit more formal than learning,
We speak. No, speak. No.
right? This is no,
No.
that's good. So, but let's
Yeah.
put speak in another group. Speak a language. But if it's still like learn, the same as learn, but let's say learn, it's the kind of the learning is the kind of thing that you do when you go to school, you're exposed to content. What if you just travel somewhere and you start
using,
use, I'm going to keep it together with speak, use a language. So here, a synonym for learn is, I gave you the two first words, the letters. Come on.
acknowledge,
Acknowledge.
Here.
No.
Can you see the letters?
acquire,
Acquire.
Acquire.
Acquaintance.
Acquire.
Acquire.
The phrasal verb for acquire is to pick up.
Pick up.
mm,
So, do you think it's easy to pick up, for example, I don't know, Chinese? If you travel to China sometime, and say, okay, let me travel to China and see if I can pick up some Chinese. That means, you listen to people using that and you start acquiring the language. How about that?
No, no, not
It's
for
difficult.
me.
Yeah,
The
I
interesting,
Chinese
don't
but I
know.
love you.
pronunciation is
I don't
terrible.
know any word in Chinese. Any.
I know
Any.
3 words in Chinese.
Do
Well,
you?
you know a
Right.
lot.
Yeah.
Teach us, Danny.
Yeah.
Ah, did you, 对不起
Which
is
is,
I'm
which
sorry.
means,
I'm
ah,
sorry.
The booty. 我是 is I am.
Huh.
Uh, what else? 晚安 is good night.
On.
And I forgot the others.
Wow.
and that's it, right? That's
Okay.
enough.
Yeah. I cannot
And that's
survive in
probably,
China just with just 3 words.
No,
well,
I don't know
these three
anything.
words is everything I'm going to ever learn in terms of Chinese. I promise you. All right, so you can use, you can speak, you can teach. If you learn everything that is to learn, then you hopefully will master
Master the
a
language.
language. Do you think you master Portuguese?
No, I don't.
I
I think we
no
try.
way. I was raised. I grew up as in a bilingual environment. So both languages, Portuguese and English, they are I consider both my first languages. But Portuguese is too difficult.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I am much. I mean, English is okay with me. It's sort of I'm next to mastering, but Portuguese, all
I
of
think
those
it's the most difficult
declinations.
language.
Oh, but those
Yeah.
conjugations, those mais que perfeito, and this is no,
Hmm.
right. What if you're talking about right? If you do not use English for the rest of your life, you will probably
Forget.
Forget.
Yeah.
forget, even lose. So you can
Lose.
lose the language. But then let's say that you lost part of the language and then you did some study in order to revive the language. So you can also
Language.
revive a language. Now,
That
something that we
happened.
all oh, go on, Claudia.
That happened to me when after the COVID, the pandemic, when I started online and start studying Portuguese. My God, I couldn't believe I so many things that I didn't know what that means. The meaning of words, the meaning of things. I had to ask what that because I really didn't speak Portuguese. And now it's the opposite. Now, after 3 years speaking Portuguese all the most of the time, having hard time speaking English.
Yeah. And we were talking about that before Bella came here. When I told you that when you do a course like this and you have to push yourself on a weekly basis to expose yourself to 2 3 hours of good English, what you do is you activate lots of things that are dormant. They're sleeping at the back of your mind. They are in the long-term memory. And then they start flourishing. They start surfacing. They start coming to the surface of your memory. And it's also a way to revive the
Yeah.
language. The fact that you are activating, so you can revive or activate the language. You can also something also that we do a lot is if you need to use English or any other language in two different circumstances, an informal one and a formal one, are you going to use the same kind of language?
No, it's different.
It's different.
What do you have to do? Do
Adapt. Adapt for the the way you're gonna speak. I don't know if
okay,
that's adapt.
I gave it, but that's an idea. Yes, I gave you half of the word. Look at the board.
It's true.
You
It's
have to
true.
You have to
Can you
crack
put
the code.
Can you make bigger? I can't see.
Yeah, sure. Of course I can.
Please.
Better now?
Code switch. Code
Yeah.
switch.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
You have to code switch the language. So you see, very nice verbs to use with language. But now, can you think of verbs that are used after language? For example, let me copy here. What language does is, for instance, it develops, language changes.
Develop.
If you can say that it develops, you can say if it develops, if it gets better, you also say that language, oops,
Evolve.
can you
Evolves.
say this word? Evolve.
Evolve.
Evolves.
That's
Evolves.
it. Second syllable is stress. Evolve, right?
Evolve.
And hopefully, I mean, some languages, they are there. They're going to, you know that they're going to be there forever. So they survive. What is the
Survive.
opposite? If some survive, some others
Die.
die out.
Die
Die
out.
out.
Okay,
Die
I'm
out.
keeping dies out because it's language. Language dies out. For example, do you know any language that has died out?
Latin, Greek,
Latin, Greek, right? Which means that they have this,
Disappeared.
that's
disappeared.
it. And that's a good thing that you pronounce that as S, disappeared, not disappeared, which is
Disappeared.
a very common mistake. This S sound and Z sound for advanced students
Disappeared.
is a problem. For example, some words, this is nothing to do with the topic today, but some words that are challenging are the words that cause people to, they induce people to mistake. For instance, this, it's not disappear, but disappeared, so it's as sound. Examples. If you say that something is very, I'm going to write here, it again, it's nothing to do with the language, but anyway, if you say something is very simple, you say it is
Basic.
Basic.
Z sound or S sound?
Z.
Z sound.
Z.
S.
S
S.
sound. Basic.
S.
Basic.
Basic. I
You
can't
say, yeah,
believe it.
yeah,
Basic.
I
Oh
know.
my
So,
Oh,
gosh. Everybody said Z.
More
I
than
know.
20 years
even
mispronouncing.
even Americans say this
It
word with
doesn't,
Z.
so it's basic, all right? Basic sound,
Basic.
basic foods,
Basic.
basic style, basic. Another one that
Basic.
causes confusion
Close.
is we are very good friends. We are
Close.
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 Z sound or
Close.
S sound?
Z.
Close.
No,
S.
S sound.
Close.
Close.
Close. Close. Ah,
Close.
Close.
Yeah.
We are
mas aí parece com
close
roupa.
friends.
Close.
The adjective is close, but if the door is open
Close.
and you don't want it
Close.
this way, then it's
Closed.
Z sound.
I can't believe it.
so I'm just pointing this out just because we discussed something, we have just discussed the idea that yeah, there are things that we discover when you are already advanced students, advanced people, advanced users.
Ah,
So, oh, no way. Yes. So just be careful, right? Basic, close friends, and things of the kind, and then disappear, not disappear. Good. There are some languages that appear even among teenagers. I don't know if you ever use the language that you created.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
created some
C
words when I
language.
was very young that used to talk together in some group. Don't remember anymore, but we had.
This is how languages emerge. Because a certain group of people organize a code and they start using this code and it becomes a language. So a language also emerges. The opposite, when languages stop being used, they
This
Decline.
decline. So they
Decline.
start declining. So you can say that a language is declining. That means fewer and fewer people have been using that language. What about the domination? For instance, English nowadays, although we have Chinese being spoken by 1.4 billion people and then Indian English being spoken by 1.3 million people or 1.4 billion people, English as a whole still dominates. So we can say
Dominates.
that a certain language dominates the scenario.
Dominates.
And nowadays we have over, if I'm not mistaken, 300 words in the planet that
Exist.
coexist.
coexist.
Exist.
But the
Exist.
most interesting thing, I think, is not exactly the verbs that are used with the word language, but some of the adjectives they can use with the word language. For instance, if it's the language that you learned when you were a kid, that's your
Mother
since you're born,
language.
Mother
mother
language.
language. Okay,
Mother
good.
language.
That's your mother language or first.
First language.
First language.
But if it's the one that you learned after learning the first, that's your second.
A second.
Prob- oops, Probably foreign.
Hmm?
Foreign
Foreign.
Oh,
language.
foreign.
Foreign
Foreign.
language.
Foreign language, second language. If it can be
Foreign.
your mother, your first, also your native language, right?
Native.
Native
Right.
language. Yeah.
Right. So for all of you, your native language is Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No?
Right. No, I think
Yeah.
Danny
What
said
you
yes.
speak?
Yes.
Don said yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
my first language is Portuguese.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Okay. Some languages are very difficult, so that's another one. Or complex. The opposite
Complex.
being
Easy.
easy or
Huh.
simple or
Simple.
and some languages have, for example, I don't know if how much you know about German, but there are all the declinations, like Portuguese with all of the conjugations. Some of these languages are rich, but some of them are sort of poor in terms of the structure. Now, one thing about using the term poor language is you should be careful. And if you hear that and you're translating that, you should also be careful because it could be derogatory. It could be, it brings it down in terms of the value, and that's not the idea. A poor language is thought about nowadays as the language whose the number of structures are limited. The number of the vocabulary, the lexical groups are limited. So it's considered poor because of the number of structures and lexical groups that it uses, but not because you are downgrading the language, right? That's the important thing. Um,
Right.
so it can be rich, can be poor. If it's the one that you should speak at a certain in a certain event, it becomes of
A custom
come on, help me
of
here. If it's the one
Official.
that you really need to use,
Official.
official.
for instance,
Oh,
okay, that becomes official or global or international. That's also possible. If it's only a few people who use it, what kind of language do you say it is?
Rare.
Sorry, come again.
Rare.
Rare language or minority?
Minority. Could be a
For
dialect,
example,
dialogue, no, dialect too?
yes,
No,
but that's not a collocation with
not
language. And
collocation. Yeah.
all of these
Okay.
words are collocations with language. So you say
Okay.
minority language, rare language, poor language, native language. All of them
Okay.
are used with the word language.
Okay.
If it's minority and it goes, fewer and fewer people use that, that means it's at risk. It may disappear. So you say it's
Endangers. Endangered.
endangered. Can you try
Endangered.
that? Endangered.
Danger.
Endangered.
Endangered.
Endangered. Good. Terrific. Right. If you say, and this generally raises a lot of discussion, but if you say, right, if I think about English as a language to include everyone, you can say it's inclusive language. And nowadays there have been, because there is one big discussion nowadays about language being sexist. Do you agree with that?
Sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
language can be sexist?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But if you think about English, does a table have sex? Does a
No.
table
Hey,
have a gender? Is it a
table?
she or a he?
For
Does it have
me,
a gender? Do you say
no.
it's a she or a he? No.
No.
Does a door have a gender?
No. Not in
No.
English. I
No.
don't think so. No.
All right. If you use the word they in English, do you review the gender?
No.
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 All right. So what we are talking about here is one thing that has been great discussion nowadays, which is gender neutral
Neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
language. Lots of people have been
Yeah.
discussing gender neutral. Portuguese and French are a lot worse. Very difficult. So much, in fact, that some time ago there was something like, if I'm mistaken, in Portuguese, there was something like, let's not talk about, it's not todos, todas, todes,
Togis. Togis.
Yeah.
or something of the kind, which is the
Yeah.
gender neutral. There are some people who love it. There are some people who hate it. This is a major fight nowadays in terms of
Yeah.
language, right? Okay.
Mm.
Now, why is this important at this point in time? First, because we're going to start talking about language more systematically, and also because for the past 2 years at the CAE and CPE, there have been 3 tasks using language as a central topic, 3 gap fill tasks in the task for you to do, and using the collocations of language. So keep it near, this is a good board for you to, maybe if you'd like to take a picture of this, or uh, it's always good to have it around, because we'll be using some of these terms in the next few lessons. Now, one question which is more difficult for you. Think about your first language.
Mm.
Do you remember the first words or words that you learned in Portuguese?
No.
Probably papai.
Mamãe,
Papai.
pai,
Yeah,
água.
mama.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what my mother tells me. That my first Portuguese word was porta.
Really?
For some reason,
Porta.
I said, yeah, I have no idea why. She doesn't have any idea why. My father's not alive anymore, but when he was alive, he didn't understand why. I said Porta first, before papai, before mamãe, or before all of those words.
That's a lot of consonants that's hard for a kid to say.
A baby to
Exactly.
say.
E,
And
R, and T.
yes. And then, and according to them, I even pointed to a
Wow.
door and said Porta. But this is even there is even an explanation for that in first language acquisition. But the thing is, it's a difficult thing for it's a difficult process for a kid to start learning their own language. Uh,
Hmm.
do you remember having said anything wrong for some time in Portuguese until you got corrected?
I don't
Hmm.
remember, but for sure this happened.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
Yeah.
remember. I always had
I
friends that are so picky and they always correct me. And so I start getting picky to myself. I had a friend,
uh
my gosh, she's always on me. Not how you say that. That's not correct. That's not this.
wow, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Uh I remember in Portuguese I don't, but as I said, I sort of grew up in a bilingual context. So I was exposed to both languages at the same time. It was a lot of exposure. And I remember that I had a lot of trouble in English as a kid with the verb die. I would I don't know I would look at uh I remember that my aunt told me that there was a spider somewhere, and then I sort of use the verb, and this is something that lots of kids do. They use die instead of kill. Something like you died the spider instead of you killed
You killed the
the
spider.
spider. Yeah, it should have been you killed the spider, but it was I what I said was I die you died the spider. That means I mean the spider is dead now, and what I could say was you died the spider. So these things are precious when people are learning or producing language because language is organic, starts growing on you differently. But for lots of people, one last example before you listen to something. I promise that's the only thing you do today. Uh, and this one is in Portuguese. I had some of my North American friends come sometimes to Brazil, and when they come here, they visit me. And so, and some years ago, they came, and there was a, the daughter of a cousin of mine who was 6 years old. She was in my home, and there were lots of people in my home, and she was trying to watch TV. That was a very funny thing. And then the grown-ups started crossing in front of her, and she was doing something like that to watch the TV. And then there was a time she got angry, and she said in Portuguese something like that, "Sai do meu perto."
Sai do meu teto.
She shouted, "Sai do meu perto!" Which is,
So
I
cute.
I took notes of this, and this was part of my thesis in college because this is beautiful. She conveyed message beautifully, although it was not the way that we are used to after we learn the language. So, uh, isn't it interesting? This isn't it a beautiful thing? I don't know if your kids have said something like that. Maybe Danny or Bella.
Yeah, I think it's just amazing to see them acquiring a language. They make very funny mistakes and they're cute. And sometimes we even miss when they start saying things the right way, you know?
Thing
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
And
it's so
the curious
cute.
thing is that the kids don't have afraid to speak.
No.
They don't mind if they saying a wrong word. Or they want to communicate, and
Hmm.
we love when they say something wrong.
Yes, yes,
He,
it's
It's
so
my
fine.
son says, "Pupessora, pupessora."
professora. That's
It's so
so cute.
cute.
So
And
cute.
there are some other words too, some other sentences. Like I'm not gonna remember now, but it's cute. I love it.
My
Right.
niece, when came to live here, she was 5, 4, maybe almost 6, almost 5. And then she started speaking Portuguese. Then she moved, then she had to go to school. So she forgot Portuguese and started speaking. And
English.
then when I came first time here, they tried to communicate because I didn't speak any English, so they had to try to communicate. And then she started saying that she was confusada. I'm confusada. So
Confusada.
we got that word until today. Say, I'm too confusada.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's so nice.
yeah.
That's why I love English. I mean, I love a language, in fact, but I like English more than the others. But yes, that's that language is so beautiful. Uh, I just before you go, I'd like you to listen to something, which is a lecture. Can you read this? I mean, there is a lecture telling students about the first 5 lectures in the course, and this is about learning a first language. It's a course about learning a first language. Here are the titles of the lectures. Can you read letter A, Claudia?
Language learning problems. What and why?
Letter B, Danny.
Listening and learning the interrelationships.
Letter C, Bella.
Early communication, parents and play.
And letter D, Claudia.
Patterns of communication. Learned behavior.
And letter E, I'll do that. Private conversations, talking to toys, 1. Now, I'll play that. And as the lecturer speaks, she's going to tell the students the order in which these lectures are going to take place. Can you just order them for me? So listen once and write, okay, letter A, in fact, is number 3, letter B is number 1. So just order them according to what you hear.
Okay.
Just a minute. I just need to check if you can hear.
Unit 9, Recording 12.
Can you hear that?
First, let me introduce
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Lynn Jones, and I'll be taking you for the first 5 lectures in this course on first language learning. I'd like to begin today's session by highlighting some of the main areas that I'll be covering with you. From the moment they wake up, infants are keen to interact and communicate with others. This interaction may not, of course, be with people. Early morning sounds from a child's bedroom may be them babbling to themselves, or speech as a child speaks to their toys. I recently bought my 2-year-old daughter a cuddly elephant, and it has become the person she talks to each morning lying in bed. And as my 3-year-old dresses herself, she likes to talk to each item of clothing. Red jumper, your turn. So the first lecture will be about what I call private conversations. Of course, a child's parents are usually their most important focus of interaction, and in the second session, we'll be exploring the part that parents play in very early communication. The first stage of interactive play might be a child giving a toy to their mother or offering her some food. And even before they can use words, infants employ their faces, bodies, and sounds to communicate what they want. A hand outstretched to a toy could mean, give it to me, or a broken toy handed to a parent with an ah might mean, mend this for me. Parents encourage this kind of interaction by, for example, hiding an object behind them and asking, where's it gone? At first, infants point, and then later verbalize a response. The importance of infants listening to adults speaking for the development of their own language cannot be overestimated. Many parents play follow the instructions games with their children when they first become mobile, saying things like, go to the toy box and find the car for me, or fetch me your hat. Although, as the parents of older children will know, the novelty for children of following instructions soon wears off. Reading stories for young children is a similarly important part of this process of listening and understanding. But even when children are not being actively encouraged to listen, they will be seeking to make sense of the language they hear. When children appear to be busying themselves with their toys or applying themselves to painting a picture, they will be absorbing the speech they hear around them and often copying what they hear in their own speech. So the third area we'll be looking at is the relationship between listening and the development of speech. Interactions between infants will often copy parental speech and behaviour. Two small children at a nursery school might hug each other when they meet each morning because that's what parents do to the children when they are collected from school. Most parents at some time hear their child say something and ask themselves the question, did they copy that from us? Of course, it's very difficult to assess exactly the extent of parental influence. Take, for example, the area of conflict. It is not uncommon to see in a nursery school two small children playing with each other peacefully one moment, but they might be hitting each other the next. If their language is more developed, they might each blame the other for a broken toy or a spilt drink. While these would be uncharacteristic of normal adult interaction, perhaps the conflicts between parents witnessed by small children somehow are mimicked in these arguments. A fourth area, then, will be the extent to which patterns of communication are copied. A final subject I will examine during the course is that of problems in language acquisition. We might consider first language learning natural, a normal process that everyone goes through, and Dr. Jackman will be describing this process to you in detail in later talks. However, a significant number of children either acquire language more slowly than the usual rate or never reach an average level of language proficiency. This topic will obviously be of particular importance to those of you who are going on to work with children with learning difficulties or as speech therapists. So, first of all then, let's look at the private conversations that infants engage in.
Do you have it?
I think
I
so.
guess.
Did you mark all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me know what the first one mentioned is.
The first one is letter E, private conversations, talking to toys.
Do you all agree?
That's, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And then number 2 is?
I think so. Let us see. Early communication,
See,
parents and play.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
That's early communication. And number 3?
Patterns of communication, learned behavior.
Do you all agree?
I put letter B as number 3, listening and
Two.
learning.
That's it. That's letter B, in fact, which is
Yeah.
number 3. Because this one is number 4 is letter D, patterns of communication, right? Which means that that letter A is number 5. Good. As the person talks about the areas, she or he, I mean, if it's a she, she gives examples of which area is all about. Uh, I am not going to, I'm going to save this today because there is a second time that you're going to listen, but this time to learn more about the examples coming from each area. So is it okay if I just save it for next class?
Hmm.
Because we will need
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more like 20 minutes for this, and we don't have 20 minutes anymore today. You have barely 5 minutes. So is it okay if I save that for next class?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, good. Did you hear anything which you saw happening in your family with or with friends or with your kids?
Yeah. Talking to toys,
I,
learning.
I talked to my toys today. I
Yes.
still talk to my toys.
My
Yeah.
my my wife says that. Look, I still talk to my toys. She's 6 years old, or getting 6 years old, and she said, I still talk to my toys, crying out loud. Or to plants. Do you talk to plants?
All the time.
Yes.
Plants, my whatchamacall, my caterpillars, the dogs and the cat, everything
Yeah.
In English?
in English. Yeah. Isn't that something? And I have a friend that sometimes I'm talking to her and I talk to a dog or a cat in English, or I used to talk to my dog in English. And she used to ask me, why do you speak with her in English? Why don't you speak in Portuguese?
I was teaching my
Because the
dog
dog.
to sit and to get up in Korean. It doesn't work. It didn't work.
Didn't work.
No.
But has the dog been trained in any other language before?
In Portuguese.
Ah, right. That's why it doesn't work. I suppose that they're going to get confused with
But
the
they say
language.
they
But
doesn't
I
matter
think she
what
needs to.
language you talk to the dog. They understand the sound,
Oh
tone,
yeah, the
tone you
tone.
talk,
Yeah.
not the word you saying. Doesn't matter if I speak with her in Portuguese or English or Chinese or
But Chinese.
Japanese.
Well, the cat I live with knows the word no very well. When I
Very
say
well.
no, it stops. It stops and it keeps it waits for what comes next. It's something very funny. I'll film it someday. Uh, right. For next lesson, I need you to do something for me. This is not homework. This is just a request. uh, I would like you to as you go places and you talk to people. It could be people from your family, it could be friends, it could be people you don't know. If you're, I don't know, if you're on the subway, on the bus, and so I would like you to try to identify the words. It could be in English or in Portuguese or in Spanish, doesn't matter. The words that you hear more frequently.
Hmm.
So for next Thursday, you let me know what is the word that for this week you heard more frequently. Just that, just one word. Even if it's only, I don't know, twice. So okay, this was the most frequent word that I saw that I heard this word this week. Deal?
You.
Do.
Right, ladies. So go have a dinner, snack, a bath, or something, or some rest, maybe, and
Right.
have a nice week. Have a nice week and have fun. Ah,
Okay.
I will use this vocabulary, this language collocations in a task that I will upload soon to. I don't know if you had a chance to try Dojo or to enter the
No, I was
platform.
going to ask what we supposed to do in the dojo.
I sent you a message. It's practice. It's
Yes,
an
some
English practice
exercise.
platform. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay. No, I didn't. I
Andre,
didn't.
I I checked my email. I just got the first one saying that we were
but
gonna
no
get a
invitation.
second.
No,
Yeah,
no
no
invitation.
invitation. I checked
No
spam,
problem.
trash.
If you click on the link that I sent you and you use your email and the password that I sent you, you are in.
Ah,
Afterwards,
okay.
try.
I did.
Click the link,
Yeah.
email your password, you are, and then you see the units. They're only for the first unit, but then I'll upload something there for you to practice a little bit with the collocations for language. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
See you. Nice to
Thank
see you
you.
here.
Okay.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
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 Talk to you guys. Bye bye.